On June 23, 2025, in the stillness before dawn, as the first hints of light began to paint the horizon over the Qatari desert, a sense of unease hung heavy in the air. The quiet was deceptive, a prelude to the storm that was about to break. Suddenly, the sky erupted with the roar of incoming missiles, tearing through the darkness like fiery serpents. The pre-dawn calm was shattered, replaced by the deafening sound of engines and the whoosh of projectiles hurtling towards their target. The target Al Udeid Airbase, a sprawling complex nestled in the Qatari desert, the heart of U.S. air power in the Middle East, a critical hub for military operations and a symbol of American influence in the region. Iran's Revolutionary Guard launched a barrage, a coordinated and calculated assault, a direct response to recent attacks on its own soil, a retaliatory strike intended to send a clear message of defiance and strength. Sirens blared across the base, their piercing wails cutting through the night as personnel rushed to shelters, scrambling for safety and bracing for impact, their hearts pounding in their chests. Social media exploded with footage and speculation, a chaotic mix of eyewitness accounts, unverified reports, and rampant rumors, while Iranian state media claimed a devastating blow against the Great Satan, exaggerating the extent of the damage and celebrating what they portrayed as a major victory. But as daylight revealed the aftermath, painting the desert landscape in hues of orange and gold, the reality was far less dramatic than the initial reports suggested. Advanced air defenses, standing as silent guardians, had intercepted the missiles, neutralizing the threat before any could strike their intended targets, turning potential devastation into a display of technological prowess. No casualties, no significant damage, a testament to the effectiveness of the base's defenses. Just a testament to modern military technology and careful crisis management, a demonstration of preparedness and strategic foresight. The world exhaled in relief, a collective sigh of gratitude and cautious optimism, realizing a major disaster with potentially catastrophic consequences had been narrowly averted. The event became a stark symbol of both the region's inherent volatility, a powder keg of simmering tensions and competing interests, and the razor-thin margin between war and peace, a constant reminder of the delicate balance that holds the region together. The attack on Al Udeid Airbase in Qatar, a critical hub for American military operations in the Middle East, was the climax, the culminating point of a rapid 12-day escalation, a whirlwind of military actions and political maneuvering that threatened to engulf the entire region. It began with a series of carefully planned Israeli airstrikes deep inside Iranian territory, specifically targeting key Revolutionary Guard command and control centers, aiming to cripple their operational capabilities. The strikes even extended to Evin Prison, a notorious facility in Tehran, sending a clear message and shaking the regime's sense of security and invulnerability. Israel's primary goal was to disrupt and degrade Iran's military coordination and to send a powerful message, demonstrating that nowhere within Iran's borders was beyond reach or considered safe from potential strikes. The U.S. soon joined in the escalating conflict, launching a series of devastating bunker-buster strikes, directly targeting Iran's highly sensitive nuclear facilities, a move that dramatically raised the stakes. This was an unprecedented move, a historic military action that was justified as a necessary measure to prevent Iran from achieving nuclear breakout capability and developing nuclear weapons. For the leadership in Tehran, these attacks represented a clear and unacceptable crossing of a red line, placing Iran's leadership under immense internal and external pressure to respond decisively. They felt compelled to retaliate directly and forcefully, choosing to strike against a high-value American target in the region to maximize the impact of their response. The decision was made to strike Al Udeid Airbase, sending a clear and unmistakable message that any attacks on Iranian soil would carry a steep and unacceptable price for the aggressors. The world watched with bated breath as the dangerous cycle of action and reaction continued to escalate, pushing the already volatile region to the very brink of a full-scale conflict. Each strike and counterstrike raised the stakes even higher, with the ever-present risk of an all-out war looming large over every decision made by the key players involved. The missile attack on Al Udeid was Iran's calculated answer to the preceding events, a calculated escalation designed to deter further aggression, not a reckless gamble born out of desperation. Nestled in the heart of the Middle East, Al Udeid Air Base stands as a critical installation, From above, the sprawling complex reveals its strategic importance, a testament to years of investment and international cooperation. Al Udeid Air Base is the nerve center of U.S. and allied air operations across the Middle East. It serves as the central hub for coordinating air power, intelligence gathering, and logistical support, ensuring a swift and effective response to any regional crisis. This base is instrumental in maintaining stability and projecting force when and where it's needed most. Home to over 10,000 American and coalition personnel, the base is a melting pot of expertise and dedication. These individuals work tirelessly, day and night, to ensure the safety and security of the region. They represent a diverse range of skills and backgrounds, united by a common mission. It's the headquarters for CENTCOM's air campaigns, the central nervous system for all aerial military activities in the region. Here, strategic decisions are made and complex operations are planned and executed with precision. The base's command center is a hive of activity where information flows freely and decisions are made swiftly. From its high-tech command rooms, the pulse of the Middle East is constantly monitored. Sophisticated technology and skilled analysts work in tandem to provide real-time situational awareness, enabling informed decision-making at the highest levels. Every major operation in the region is coordinated, from humanitarian aid drops to complex airstrikes. The base serves as the central point of contact for all participating forces, ensuring seamless integration and maximum effectiveness. Making it a linchpin of U.S. power projection, Al Udeid enables the United States to respond rapidly and decisively to any threat in the region. Its strategic location and advanced capabilities make it an indispensable asset in maintaining regional stability. The base hosts bombers, ready to respond to any contingency, fighters, providing air superiority and close air support, tankers and cargo planes, ensuring that forces in the field have the supplies and support they need to succeed. Supporting missions from Afghanistan to Syria, Al Udeid plays a vital role in combating terrorism and promoting regional security. The base's strategic location allows it to project power across a vast area, responding to crises as they arise. At its core is the Combined Air Operations Center, the nerve center for coordinating air operations across the region, where real-time intelligence and mission control converge, providing commanders with the information they need to make critical decisions. Al Udeid's strategic value makes it both a symbol of American influence, a visible reminder of the United States' commitment to regional security, and a prime target for adversaries who seek to undermine U.S. interests and destabilize the region. Qatar, the host nation, walks a diplomatic tightrope, balancing its own national interests with its commitment to regional security. Relying on U.S. protection while maintaining ties with Iran, a delicate balancing act that requires careful diplomacy and strategic foresight. The base's existence is a constant reminder of the complex geopolitical landscape of the Middle East, of the region's complex alliances, where friendships and rivalries often shift and overlap, and the risks of hosting foreign military power, a decision that can have profound consequences for a nation's sovereignty and security. Any attack on Al Udeid threatens not just U.S. interests, but the stability of the entire region. But the fragile balance of the Gulf, a region that is vital to global energy supplies and international trade. Its defense is a top priority, requiring constant vigilance and investment in advanced security measures. For both Washington and Doha, who recognize the critical importance of this strategic asset. The Iranian missile barrage could have been catastrophic, but it was stopped cold. Al Udeid's multi-layered air defenses, Patriot batteries, and early warning systems sprang into action within seconds. Interceptor missiles streaked skyward, destroying the incoming threats high above the base. But technology wasn't the only factor. Through back channels, Iran reportedly signaled its intentions, echoing tactics from previous crises. This warning allowed U.S. and Qatari forces to prepare, minimizing risk and casualties. Iran could claim a forceful response for domestic audiences, while avoiding a deadly escalation. The U.S. and Qatar showcased their defensive prowess, averting a wider war. Qatar condemned the attack, but emphasized the situation was contained. The episode became a case study in crisis management and the value of communication, even between adversaries. Iran's strike on Al Udeid was a calculated move, symbolic, strategic, and carefully measured. After U.S. airstrikes on its nuclear sites, Tehran needed to show strength without triggering all-out war. Hitting a major U.S. base sent a clear message: Iran could reach American assets anywhere in the Gulf. By targeting a military installation, not civilian or economic sites, Iran framed its response as legitimate and contained. The attack was political theater meant to restore deterrence, satisfy hardliners, and avoid mass casualties. Subtle warnings ensured the strike was more about messaging than destruction. Iran demonstrated resolve but left the door open for de-escalation. The world saw a display of power, not a bid for total war. The missile attack sent shockwaves worldwide, triggering urgent diplomacy and military alerts. In Washington, President Trump's team focused on confirming no U.S. casualties, a fact that shaped the restrained response. Congress debated retaliation, but many urged caution to avoid a wider war. Israel stayed on high alert, bracing for further escalation, while evacuations of U.S. citizens from the region began. Qatar condemned the violation of its sovereignty, highlighting its successful defense and desire for stability. Russia blamed the West. Europe called for de-escalation. The UN urged restraint. Airspace closures and market jitters underscored the global stakes. The world was reminded how quickly regional conflict can threaten international security. As tensions peaked, a surprise announcement came from the White House. A ceasefire had been agreed between Israel and Iran. President Trump declared the end of the 12-day war, promising a phased halt to hostilities. The news brought relief and skepticism. Oil prices dropped, but doubts lingered about the truce's durability. Iran's response was cautious, tying its compliance to Israeli restraint. The ceasefire put public pressure on both sides to step back from the brink. Sporadic clashes continued briefly, but the intensity faded. The region edged away from disaster, at least for now. The ceasefire's fragility was clear, but so was the appetite for de-escalation. The conflict's impact rippled through daily life across the Middle East and beyond. Air travel was thrown into chaos as airlines rerouted or canceled flights, and Gulf airspace closed temporarily. Oil markets swung wildly with companies evacuating staff from vulnerable sites. Ordinary people faced fear and uncertainty. Israelis endured missile alerts, Iranians saw war come to their cities, and Gulf residents braced for spillover. In the U.S., warnings of heightened terror threats and travel advisories underscored the global reach of the crisis. The events showed how quickly distant conflicts can disrupt lives worldwide. From stranded travelers to anxious families, the war's shadow was impossible to ignore. The world was reminded, in an interconnected era, no one is immune to the shockwaves of war. The June 2025 crisis is a stark lesson in the dangers of modern conflict. It exposed how quickly rivalries can spiral into direct confrontation and how fragile peace remains in the Middle East. Advanced weaponry and complex alliances make every miscalculation potentially catastrophic. The episode forced smaller states like Qatar to confront the risks of hosting foreign bases. Both sides used force to send messages, not to win outright. A new paradigm of calibrated conflict. Back-channel warnings and careful escalation management averted disaster, but the underlying tensions remain. Without renewed diplomacy, the next crisis may not be so easily contained.